All right, let's talk about this story. This is an amazing story out of New York, and the mainstream media has not been covering the story. I'm sure this is not going to come as a surprise to any of you. There have been these random flights, these under the cover of darkness flights that have been occurring into New York State. I'm just going to play some of the secret body cam footage that's now been captured and has now been ascertained by Fox News. Fox News got their hands on this body cam footage. This is undercover body cam footage. I'm just going to play it, and then we'll go through what actually you're seeing here on your screen.
You trying to figure out what this is?
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So we've been having, you're on a secure facility here, and we don't really know anything, and we're in charge of security. So that's hence where we're having a problem here. So,
yeah, we're hanging out here on the tarmac, just like that.
I don't know anybody.
I used to pick up basketball teams that had more security.
100%. Yeah. And very easily, a few people could just go that way. So I'm here to
where they're coming from.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's slowly coming together, but we also don't know, really what's happening, how they're getting here, whatever else.
So what is actually going on here? Well, this video basically, as many people have said, this is betraying the American people. This leaked video showing that President Biden has been doing this migrant invasion, these under the cover of darkness, like midnight flights, transporting illegal immigrants from dozens of countries that have come across the border from Mexico last year. And they're bringing in these people at taxpayer expense under the cover of darkness. Every night, according to the reports, they're seeing these transportation of illegal migrants and dropping them in communities across the country. And these you can hear it in their reporting. You can hear it in the body cam footage. They're basically saying, we do this every night. We do this every night. They just tell us where to go. They just tell us where to go, and we do it.
And so, I mean, it's just so unclear. I've watched this several times, and I'm like, what is happening here? So what they are accusing is taking immigrants to come across our southern border and just flying them into communities and saying, go live your life here, no questions asked, right?
By all accounts, yes.
Because they want to have clean numbers when it comes to immigration border crossing, or... Like, why? Why do you think this is?
It's a good question. I mean, Tucker had a person who's running for governor who got his hands on this footage last night on his show and had this to say about this is betrayal of the American government.
Footage through a FOIA request, and we're happy to have him join us tonight. Mr. Astrino, thanks so much for coming on. That's evidence of a crime, as far as I can tell.
Our government is completely out of control right now. They have lied to us. They've lied to the American people. I saw what Bill did last night down on the southern border, where men are just getting into cabs and being put into communities. That's what they're doing here. Southern border crisis, they're waving them in. They're putting on planes, sending them to airports closed at night like Westchester, putting them on buses. And I saw with my own eyes, after they denied it, by the way, that they were put onto a bus to a Costco and then released into cars into the community. Now, they keep saying it's just unaccompanied kids. Completely a lie. And that these kids were not going to go into our own area. Completely a lie. They're putting into schools in Westchester, Long Island, the surrounding suburbs. So it is a complete breakdown of our system. It is a betrayal, as that gentleman said, a betrayal to the American people. And of course, when I'm asking these questions, when I broke this in August, of course, what do you think the response was, Tucker? You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a hater, you're mean. Okay, answer the question when you're done with that, and they won't. They deflect and they lie continuously.
So that 51 minutes of footage, and this Freedom of Information Act, the only way we actually get that, we have to do a FOIA request to get our hands on this body cam footage under the Freedom of Information Act that we even find it. And that footage, that person you just saw there, Rob Astorino, Republican candidate for governor this year, through that Freedom of Information Act requested that body cam footage. It's the only way we know about it. And you can see the sergeant there, Michael Hambrowski, who's in that footage talking. He keeps expressing his frustration that local police have been giving no information about these flights The curfew by the airport is closed at midnight, or they're arriving after curfew, so the airport is shut down. But the government is just saying, screw that. It doesn't matter. The federal government's just saying, we're going to violate your curfews. We're landing these planes here at these airports, and we're just going to disperse people throughout the community here.
Well, and also, I guarantee they're not, and no matter where I fall on this issue, but I guarantee they're not vaccinating them. I mean,
it's hard.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, yeah, are they doing like forced vaccination? But I mean, we don't know about that question, right? We don't know. But we also don't know that, I mean, it seems we can tell from the body cam footage that it's not just unaccompanied minors. You can see women in their 30s and 40s standing there with the children, with people. I mean, these are not children that are being dropped. They're not just unaccompanied children being dropped into these communities.
And you can't spin this as a compassionate move. Like, people come across, they have nowhere to go, so we're going to compassionately move them through. Because the State Department has... And the Immigration Department has the capabilities to process these people legally if that's what they want to do, right?
Well,
we
and
could
we don't
help
know
them if we wanted to make a compassionate move, right? But doing this under secrecy, and it doesn't make a lot of sense because most people don't know that the Obama years were really high deportation years. Obama deported more people than any president in the last 30 years. Trump, despite his big talk, actually was not a big deporter. So why then would the Biden administration be working in the opposite direction?
Well, and who knows? We don't know that these people
saying it's for votes. I mean, that you can.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Like, we don't know that these people are not being moved to housing, because like the government's been buying up housing. So who knows if they're getting housing too? It's like, hey, we're going to give you housing. We're going to take care of you. We're going to give you a stipend of some kind. And all you have to do is vote Democrat.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah,
that's so hard
I'm
to
not
swallow,
saying that's what's happening, but that's,
I know it's so hard to swallow, but Occam's razor, right? I mean, to solve what's happening at the border, these people are coming across the border. We want to be humane, right? Just put them in planes and just disperse them around the country. And when they get dispersed around the country, they're never leaving. They're going to stay in these communities for the rest of their lives. It's the same thing that happened after Katrina.
Yeah.
Right? The people that left New Orleans after Katrina, they go into Houston, they go in these other spots, and they stay there then for the rest of their lives. They don't move. They're not moving every 5 years.
Yes.
They're there now. They're in these communities, and they can point to, hey, this administration saved my life. It got me across the border. It saved me from Honduran, crisis that I'm feeling right now. So I'm gonna vote Democratic. That's
or is it just a way to disperse this, keeping children in these detention facilities in a way that they're like, we can't handle this, so let's just handle it secretly, right? Well, clearly that's not the way to do it.
Right. Optics were awful. Like, what are these children in cages? Like the thing you ran on against President Trump, children in cages?
So let's just take
what's
them
the difference? You can't, like, if they're bringing them in, they're just like, here you go. You're in the United States now. You're off of our border. Just let's go. They're just making them homeless. Like, that's even worse because then that's going to eventually get out. So they have to be doing something beyond just bringing them. They have to be helping them somehow. Because, like,
you would
think about
and
that.
Again, there are ways to do that. If there are plenty of ways to offer asylum in different areas of the world, right? You can seek asylum and get legal documents in plenty of places. If that's what we're doing, just tell us, right? Let's have a discussion about it.
And that's what the sergeant in New York is so upset about in this video. I mean, he's saying, Sergeant Michael Hambruski, he's like, what am I doing? He's like, the airport is closed. Where are these airplanes coming from? Like, do you not notify the sergeant of the police force that what's happening here?
Yeah.